Hi, it's Emma here from Shine Brighter Coaching. I promised you a couple of weeks ago that I would do a little feature continuing the discussions that we were having about supporting someone who had suffered a bereavement. So someone who someone very special in their life had died, and as friends and maybe family members, we wanted to do the best thing and say the right things. So my background, I did a little bit of training with CRUSE, which is a bereavement charity, and that's where I'm getting this information from. As a coach, I work with people, future-focused conversations. I'm absolutely not a bereavement counsellor, but I am bringing up conversations, wanting people to support others who have been bereaved, rather than us all feeling really uncomfortable and wanting to cross over the road, which is what a lot of people do because they don't want to say the wrong thing and they don't want to do the wrong thing. So I want to really support you all and kind of enable you to have the confidence to be a supportive friend or family member. Okay, so I mentioned that I would do a bit of research and find out about ways we can support people who've suffered a bereavement over Christmas. Now, in my last talk, I talked about, there was that model, wasn't there, that people were in their little canoe, if you imagine they're going along their canoe in the river of life, and our boat, minding our own business, and then we become bereaved. And then CRUSE were talking about the fact it feels like you're heading head first down a waterfall. Terrible time of confusion, and then you dive into this horrible whirlpool, massive, all mixed emotions. You're kind of feeling like you're suffocating. You're trying to get out of this awful whirlpool of emotions, physically and mentally. And then as you move through your bereavement, eventually having come out onto the side, onto the rocks for a bit, then back in the whirlpool, round and round. And then but then eventually you feel like you're coming out along that new river. Okay, so you go in here, down the waterfall, zillions of times around the whirlpool, feel like you're drowning, horrible place to be. And then eventually, sometimes people feel able to move forward along that new path. Okay, now, what I want to do, I wanted to be talking particularly about this Christmas. Now, I've said about the whirlpool bit again because it's going to depend, isn't it, as to the person you're supporting, where they are on that journey, all right? You know, if they've recently been bereaved and they are head first down that waterfall, they are not going to be in the slightest bit interested, I would imagine, in doing the sorts of Christmassy things that they might have done in previous years. This has got to be appropriate. Things that you suggest, stuff that they do has got to be appropriate to how they are at the time, all right? So obviously it's going to be different for someone if maybe they were bereaved a year ago or, a few months ago. Is going to be different from someone who has been bereaved a week ago, for example. So it's got to be very personal and very individual. Now, I looked up and CRUSE gives some good ideas for supporting someone over Christmas. And here are the suggestions that they've made. Now, consider different ways of celebrating, okay? They might not feel like being Christmassy whatsoever. That's absolutely fine. They might, however, like to carry on some Christmas traditions and just talk about the person that's not there anymore. I talk a lot about my dad and, the stuff he used to do. And do you remember this? Do you remember that? Wow, do you remember that favourite hymn that he liked? And it's about including the person in the conversation as it feels appropriate to do so. Okay, so sometimes people will want to celebrate Christmas, people will want to do it either in a very individual way, or they might just want to do something completely different, and that's fine. It's about what the person who's been bereaved wants, all right? Find ways to remember the person that has died, some people will want to go to the grave, some people want to do completely different things. They might want to go to a place where they always go, or they used to always go, if you've got happy memories there. All these things, it needs to be done, dictated by the person who has been bereaved, all right? But it says it can be as simple as speaking to the person silently or out loud, visiting their grave or a place that was special to them. These things can be done alone or with family and friends. You might have photos or memories that you want to share to bring you together, okay? Now, it's really important that in family life, we accept that different people grieve in different ways, all right? And I mentioned last time about CRUSE has said it's really not very helpful to say, well, when this happened to me, this is what I did, X, Y, and Z, because actually the person who has been bereaved might not be responding at all like you did, and actually the things that you've said were helpful might not be helpful for them, all right? So I think it's really, really important to kind of back off with us, okay? If we're doing the supporting, we don't give them what was helpful to us, ask them what would be helpful for them, all right? And certainly from a family point of view, respect that different people grieve in different ways. Now, they're saying about maintaining a routine over Christmas, all right? Now, and we're thinking particularly sleeping and eating. It can be really easy for all our body clocks to just completely change. And obviously quality sleep has a big impact on our physical and mental health. So when someone is bereaved over Christmas time, just remember the importance of regular eating and regular sleep, all right? And so try and maintain that regular routine is really, really helpful, all right? And certainly on Christmas Day, it might well be that you might choose to do something completely different to what you always used to, or it may be that you continue traditions that you want. It's down to the individual. It's got under looking after yourself. It's really easy to turn to alcohol at Christmas time, but alcohol and recreational drugs are not going to be helpful they can give you temporary relief, but they are not going to be helpful in the medium or long term. So avoid them if you can. And certainly if you're beginning to feel that you're dependent on them, really important to get some advice and some support in that area. They suggest that maybe you might want to take a break from Christmas films and Christmas TV and social media. Sometimes we just want to park all that stuff, park the family stuff, park the chirpy Santa on the shelf type stuff, and actually do something completely different this year. That would be fine. Be dictated to by the person who has had the bereavement, okay? If they don't want anything to do with Christmas, that's absolutely fine. If they want everything to do with Christmas, that's absolutely fine. Let them dictate the pace, all right? And then lastly, talk to someone. Now, I've just recently found out that obviously we were saying about CRUSE have got their own telephone support line. So if I give you a few phone numbers, the CRUSE helpline is 0808 808 1677. And the Samaritans listening volunteers are available 24/7, and their phone number is 116 123. All right. Now, I've recently found out about Marie Curie Bereavement Support Service. Now, there isn't anything to say that they only support people who have been bereaved through cancer, okay? There's nothing to say that. So I'm giving you the information. So Marie Curie Bereavement Support Service, the phone number is 0800 0902 309. They're open 6 days a week, 8 till 6, Monday to Friday, and 11 till 5 on Saturdays. Now, what they offer are 6 lots of 45-minute sessions with the same bereavement volunteer, which sounds interesting, doesn't it? So, you know, there'd be some continuity there. And I didn't know that telephone support was available. So check that out if you're interested. Remember that if you're struggling with grief over Christmas, it can be really, really helpful to just talk to somebody who's out of your immediate circle. If you find that you can't talk to someone within your family and immediate friends, talking to someone externally might be really helpful. So go with the flow, be supportive, be there, okay? Don't try and fix anything because you can't fix it, but just by offering, by just being there, offering support, and being honest and real and not crossing over the road. And not avoiding phone calls. Keep in touch with people who've been bereaved because they feel lonely enough without losing half their people in their address book just because they don't know what to say. So I hope that's useful. And I will be doing more sessions in the new year. But let me know what you'd like to find some more information about, and I'll see what I can do in that area. So I break up for my Christmas holidays as of tomorrow night, but I'm back Tuesday the 2nd of January, and we are all almost recovered from COVID, so that's good news, very good news. You might notice in some of my online social media posts, I am going to be doing a programme called New Year, New Chapter, and if you'd like more information, let me know, but I'll be putting details about that online in due course. So have an amazing Christmas, and look after yourself. That's really important, and obviously those people who are around you, look after them too, and maintain a routine, try and eat well, move well, and that has huge benefits for all of us. So thanks for joining me, and I'll speak to you soon. Bye.